Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. You know, I think one of the best things that any kind of video game director and creator can absolutely do out there is tell the people that would actually like to buy his game out there to screw off. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that always works out so well. We can always go back to the old saying, you don't like my book, don't buy it, and how well that's worked out for the comic book industry. But we've seen how this kind of stuff has worked out generally in social media and entertainment overall. When you go out there and decide to disrespect your fans, you decide to decry any kind of legitimate criticism that people have out there and decide to go, no, you're just a bunch of bigots and well, it generally doesn't turn out very well for you. And of course, the Dragon Age franchise with its new very woke trans body creation system that's supposed to be a character creator inside of their game in a world with magic that gives you the ability to have top scars, which that makes total sense. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, because of those kind of legitimate criticisms towards this game, Dragon Age franchise creator David Gaider dismisses critics who fear the Veilguard will be woke as fucking tourists, says they wander around looking to fixate on problems that don't exist. And yes, this is him talking back to a woman who criticized the fact that the game's proportions in the character creator would not properly represent her, because guess what? She's actually got boobs. I know, a strange concept and something that weirdo woke psychopaths like this out there are for some reason terrified of voluptuous, beautiful, curvy women. Well, guess what? We don't have a problem around here with that, boys and girls. We absolutely love beautiful women, and we will call out these insane psychopaths for the kind of nonsense they're doing and make sure that everybody is aware of the kind of people that they are buying video games from. That decision at the end of the day is completely and totally up to you. I will not tell you to buy a game or not to buy a game in any way, shape, or form, outside of the fact that I think supporting these kind of people is absolutely insane. But you do you, boo-boo, and if you enjoy this game and you absolutely love it, then by God, more props to you, because at the end of the day, this is most importantly about all of us enjoying our escapism and finding something to enjoy. But interjecting identity politics and real-world nonsense into something like this is no doubtably immersion breaking for the majority of people out there, which is once again why I believe this game will flop, especially with this kind of talking out there to all the fan base that just has some honest questions. So we're going to check out this article from Bounding Into Comics, getting all of the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. So from our dear sweet friends over at Bounding Into Comics and Spencer Bakuli, also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let us know what you think about all of this nonsense, too. In the opinion of franchise creator David Gaider, whose players are concerned that upcoming Dragon Age The Veilguard may lean heavy into identity politics and political pandering, are nothing more than fucking tourists. And yes, trust me, go look at this guy's profile out there on X, or go look at his LinkedIn profile. Yeah, it'll have all of the exact same kind of descriptions and flags you expect. Trust me. As can be gathered by even the quickest glance at the game's thus far released promoted materials, the Veilguard is set to present players with a Dragon Age entry whose overall identity deviates drastically from those that came before it. From introducing its cast with a Suicide Squad-style montage, which, trust me, was cringe, check out the ratio on the trailer after all, to various clips highlights its Marvel-esque style of quipping writing, to the fact that its character creator includes such optional aesthetics as transgender top scars. Many players have come to the fear that the long-awaited sequel will be weighed down and possibly even outright drowned by modding audience trappings. And this is a legitimate fear to have, because we have seen this happen time and time again. We have seen broken and busted games that come out that do not work, that are buggy, and are just absolute trash stories because the marketing was nothing more than the diversity, inclusion, and equity nonsense. When they concentrate on their cult BS, everything else suffers down the pipeline. And I'd imagine this one will do the exact same. And while a good chunk of Dragon Age players have raised these issues, the aforementioned Gaider believes both critics and their fears are nothing more than loud annoyances. Taken to his personal Blue Sky account, yeah, the place with all of the really questionable accounts where you can find some very, very disturbing pictures of people that you shouldn't see out there. Yeah, that place, you know, their alternative to Twitter when the big bad Elon bought it. On September 21st, the former BioWare dev asserted, color of shock there. Apparently the usual suspects are up at how woke the new Dragon Age is. It's apparently a sudden and unexpected development in the series. Fucking tourists. Well, top scars are definitely something new to the story, and also not being able to actually create a character that doesn't look like anything outside of a transgender person could achieve, yeah, that's all new too. So, plus all your marketing and the design style and the character quips and everything else. So, yeah, I think there's some worries there. Unsurprisingly, this flippancy from the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Anthem writer quickly drew pushback from players, a number of whom created their own Blue Sky accounts in order to voice their concerns directly to Gaider. In one particular exchange, when met with a complaint from a woman regarding the lack of chesty options in the Veilguard's character, let's read her comment actually, because I like this. So Jill Faye says, yes, the fantasy game with real-life elements such as top surgery scars in a game with magic, really? Right? And identity politics, because representing real-life social issues in a game isn't immersion breaking at all, and is really necessary for a good game with a sense of escapism. And of course, notice this guy doesn't have a Twitter account out there, because of course, you know he would get legitimate backlash from a fair and equal platform that actually lets everyone speak. A character creator that only reaches body proportions a trans person could generally achieve, because females such as myself with a D cup can't create the character that I look like. Color us shock there. And she's not asking for anything outrageous. A D cup. That's pretty normal. That's not an outrageous size of boobies out there in any way, shape, or form. Boobies. So David Gaider, of course, over here, Gaider. How did I miss that until now? David Gaider. Did you follow me over here just to tell me this? How sweet. I suggest not taking a character creation options you don't like. Poof, problem solved. But it's the inclusion in a game that it makes no sense in, because there's magic. What an obsessively weird lens to look at everything through. Have you tried being less weird? Now, wait a minute. I thought the inclusion of top surgery scars was so everyone could feel represented. So what David Gaider is saying here, that he's clearly a sexist who hates women because he doesn't want them represented properly in his game, but he loves his trans community and wants them represented properly. Okay, I get it, David Gaider. You're just a sexist. I get it. I get it now. Following a handful of interactions with his critics, the video game industry veteran put a period on the end of his discussion, writing on September 12th, I have to apologize to Blue Sky users for evidently attracting new users here with the sole intention of telling me how they're very fixated they are on transgender people. It's weird, but so are they, and apparently they have a lot of time on their hands. You know it's not going to be weird? The sales for your video game. Those are going to be fucking hilarious. And I can't wait to see those. I can't wait to see how many people are currently playing your game when it releases with this kind of nonsense. Probably won't be as bad as Concord, because you've got a built-in fan base that honestly isn't aware of a lot of this stuff until they open up the game the first time. But give it a couple of weeks. It's going to be funny. From there, he was pressed by another user as to why he believed he was drawing such a loud card of new users. Gaider added, probably because they wander around looking to fixate on problems that don't exist. Well, if they're problems that don't exist, why do you interject these? Why are you such a sexist, David Gaider, against a woman who just wants to properly represent her bountiful bosom? Why are you a sexist, David Gaider? Why do you hate women? I don't get it, but clearly you do. Ultimately, whether or not the Veilguard team should have listened to player feedback will be determined when the fantasy RPG officially hits shelves on October 31st. Just a little over 1 month from the time of this article's writing. Boys and girls, and I can't wait. So make sure you stick around on this channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you turn on that notification bell, because we do video game live streams all the time as well. But this we will be following up on. This we'll be keeping an eye on, because we've seen how many times, time and time again, throughout the history in the entertainment industry out there, how many times have we seen creators come out there and disparage their fans, try to dismiss their critics? They call them weird and fucking tourists. How well does that work out for them? Go woke, go broke exists for a reason. And marketing like this, and interaction like this, and not going the proper way, not doing the smart decision and going, well, you know, we just tried to create a really good game that was inclusive for everybody, and we hope you'll enjoy it when you come out. No, instead of handling things like that, he attacks anyone that questions him, including a woman who he apparently clearly hates women. Because otherwise, why would he disparage and discredit any of her concerns with that? Because this never was about inclusion. This was never about equality. It's never about diversity. It was about forcing their agenda and putting their cult-like tactics and all of their nonsense and all of their worldview directly into a game that is meant to escape from the real world and not have to tolerate and deal with this kind of BS that people get beat over the heads with all of the time. They don't want it in their escapism. They never have, and they never will. And Dragon Age Veilguard, you and David Gaider will get exactly what you deserve. After all, go woke, go broke.